sip our worries away, nice and slow. Your laughter ripples like sweet warm wine. In this jazzy sultry space you're mine. The saxophone croons a velvet tune, while melodies dance beneath the moon. We'll toast to moments both grand and small, in this hazy, lazy, jazz-touched hall. Let's sit together in the mellow night. We'll drink to love till the morning light. Every glass we raise a promise true. Here's to the magic in a drink with you. They sparkle with every click, sweet rendezvous over a simple drink. We'll share our secrets in whispers low, just you and me where the jazz flows slow. The world outside fades into the mist, but here it's our own dreamy tryst. With each sip our worries drift away. Let's stay together till the break of day. So let's sit together in the mellow night. We'll drink to love till the morning light. Every glass we raise a promise true. Here's to the magic in a drink with you.
The following live stream has been approved for appropriate audiences. It may contain occasional strong language and may not be suitable for younger or more sensitive viewers. Viewer inebriation is advised, though not mandatory.
Good evening, happy Friday, and welcome back to Last Call, where tonight we are talking fan films. The recent Liquid Lunch where I talked about fan films was one of the most popular topics thus far. So we are revisiting the topic tonight with special guest Clifton3D. I'm glad we can talk about something positive and upbeat rather than the complete destruction of our favorite properties. As a wise man often says, the fans are doing the best work. So top off your glasses, kick up your heels, tell me what you're sipping on in the chat, and we'll roll out this Canarble Wagon right now.
Last Call is streamed before a live audience.
Salute, welcome! Happy Friday to all of you! So glad you are here with me this evening. At least I hope you are having a great start to the weekend. I'm really looking forward to this topic, looking forward to hanging out with everyone. Don't want to keep them waiting. Let's go ahead and get everyone in here. If you don't mind, I'm going to start with probably the most important person in the world to me, my lovely wife, Netter of Netter's Network. How are you doing, my dear? And what are you sipping on, as if I didn't already know?
I am doing really well, and I am sipping on a Sweet Talkin' Russian.
Sweet Talkin' Russian. That's, by any other name, it's a chocolate white Russian. I used a chocolate Kahlua with cream. Netter thinks I should have used more cream, but I've also topped it with whipped cream because it's just that yummy. It absolutely is. Those of you that joined me for Liquid Lunch today, the article I was reading from described a White Russian as an adult take on a milkshake. It absolutely is. I got to say, I'm already a third of the way into it, and I'm a third of the way into it.
Well, now you know why I always like Kahlua and cream. It's an adult milkshake.
Oh, this is good. This is good. I still have some I actually used an actual milkshake. You can see the frost on it. Look at the frost on that. I actually used a milkshake tumbler. I still have about half of that full, so I'm going to top off a little bit later. But there we go. This is.
But I'll beat you to it.
But see, between Netter and I drinking this down, that's fine. Yeah, we can refill you, and we can add some more cream to yours if you want. That's why we need our designated driver, Aged Boomer. What are you sipping on tonight, my friend?
I have an unsweet tea.
He's a teetotaler because he's the designated driver. I thank you for your service, my friend. You are wonderful. And I thank you so much for putting together the slides for tonight on very, very short notice. You did a great job. I looked through them. They're wonderful. They're wonderful.
Did you know what I got for my birthday cake this year? Did I tell you?
That's right. So happy birthday again. We wished you happy birthday on Monday, but your birthday was actually Wednesday. Right?
I had my mom made me a cherry pie.
Oh.
Twin Peaks, right?
Yeah. There you go.
A heavenly slice of cherry pie. There we go.
Did you wash it down with some black coffee? Black is midnight on a
I should have, but there might still be a chance to do that with what's left. Yeah.
There you go. Okay. There you go. And our very special guest who came and had liquid lunch with me, I'm forgetting now if it was earlier in the week or if it was last week that we were talking about fan films. And he said, yeah, I'd like to come back and talk about some of my favorites. And that's Clifton3D returning to the channel
Yeah, I've been here once.
Hey! I don't know if you've been specifically on last call or if you were over on Netter's channel.
I think you might have been on.
Either way, we're kind of all, sharing a brand here. So it's good to have you back, my friend. How are you doing and what are you sipping on, if anything? Because it's early in the morning over there for you.
Sipping on an energy drink. Yes, it's 4:00 in the morning.
What energy drink do you imbibe? Because we like energy drinks here too.
I've actually got a strawberry lime.
Strawberry lime. We drink Rockstar Ice, which is kind of a lemon
ice.
Kind of a lemony type flavor.
Now, is yours Rockstar, Monster, or what?
Brandon.
Let me see.
Or
I've got Rockstar
German
and Monster.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Awesome. So let us say hi to the wonderful chat that's been, man, you guys have been here 10 minutes listening to us Babylon. We haven't even said hi to you yet. Starting with Lady Miss dropping the beautiful blue emojis because she knows that's Netter's favorite color and it encourages her. But she's also saying hi to me as well. Thank you so much, Lady Miss. You are a sweetheart. And look at this. She's doing the blue wrench thing by dropping Clifton3D's YouTube channel. Please go subscribe to our guest and subscribe to everybody who is here who makes this stream happen. Together we grow. Speaking of someone who helps us all together grow, RubyHoove, thank you so much. I cannot even begin to express how much I appreciate what you do, dropping the gifties on a pretty regular basis here. I love you for it. I really, really do. What she did was she gifted a membership, and you know how this works. It goes to somebody randomly, but look who it went to. It went to Rosefire. I am so glad that Rosefire gets a free month of membership. I hope maybe she can make it to one of our Monday night membership streams to watch a movie with us. It would be great to have her. Welcome, Rosefire, to membership. Hail to the bird woman of YouTube, Connie Cleary. Always wonderful to see you, my dear. Thank you for being here. And Tim Hayes. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome. Tim Hayes is also a member, so he's dropping the logo, the brown mumbler, the fedora, and the Canarble Wagon. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. And although I did already say hi to her, I love seeing that she calls me the love of her life. I love you too, dear. Films with Friends raid. Yes, this is why I was almost a little bit late. Netter and I just jumped over from watching Near Dark with Big Al. He had never seen that before. You guys seen that movie?
Wait, what was it?
Near Dark.
No.
Jackson, Lance Henriksen.
I didn't
It's a
remember
vampire
it.
movie.
I can't recall. I probably watched it at some point in my teens.
One
but...
line from the movie. If you know the movie, if you've seen the movie, you'll remember it. Bill Paxton. He's a vampire. He bites into a guy. He's got blood all over his hands, all over his face. He licks his fingers. He goes, "Ha! Finger licking good."
What?
Yeah, if you've seen the movie, you remember that line.
I have not seen this movie.
Then I have not seen it yet. No.
Is it an 80s movie?
It is. It absolutely
It is an 80s movie. I have to put this on my list because I like 80s vampire pictures. I
So
think we've
check
talked
it
about
out.
some of them before. Yeah.
Check it out. The blonde girl who is this is kind of a spoiler, but it's early on in the film. The main character that you see it through, he gets turned into a vampire because he starts hitting on this girl who seems like this sweet little, wayfish type girl with a blonde pixie cut. I have a type and all. We were talking about the fact that she totally could have been cast as Laura Palmer. She's got that kind of a look to her. Come to find out, the same actress was the girl from Pink Floyd's The Wall. Do you remember the scene where the groupie comes back to Pink's hotel room and she's like, "Want to take a bath?" That's her. Yeah. Anyway. Be that as it may, check out the movie. It's definitely worth it. Clifton3D, you're in the chat as well as here on the panel. Welcome. And there's RubyHoove. Thank you again so much, Ruby. So appreciate you. Geek Flag joined us for the latter part of the movie, and he came on over here. Thanks so much for being here. David Pensack says, "Hello there and good evening." Thank you so much for being here. And salute to Deleted Scenes, who, of course, as I think I just said, was over there watching the movie with us.
Looks like a dessert you're drinking.
It is. It kind of is like, it really is like an adult milkshake. It really is.
Okay.
I'm waiting for him to get whipped cream on his nose. Oh, you got some on your mustache.
I know I do. This is a reverse mustache man from World War II. Deleted Seed says, like, share, subscribe, and become a member, please. Anything you could do to support the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm cutting it close. Got out of my watch party not long ago. Connie, we appreciate you so much. Anytime that you're here, we appreciate you. You never have to apologize. Never. The timey-wimey limey. He says he's having some tea because it's probably early in the morning there. Am I right? Over there in Limey Land? I don't know.
Limey Land?
I don't know. Come on. I'm halfway through a White Russian here, man.
This is my second one.
You have a much smaller glass than I do.
Okay, so I've had at least as much as you have, and
you're the one who taught me how to drink. Just remember that.
My smaller glass is half of yours, and I'm already on the second half of your glass, as it were.
There you go. Staying with my sister in Texas. Yes, Ruby, Netter is absolutely praying for your sister. We super appreciate it. And the reason I say Netter is because I don't think the big cat at the top of the stairs really wants to hear from me, but Netter has the faith of a child, so she is absolutely praying for you and your sister. Brandon the anime guy. Holy cow, he says. I'm not sure what he's saying other than why he's saying holy cow, other than holy cow, he made it here live for a last call. Super appreciate seeing you there. If you are at all even a little bit interested in anime, this is the guy you want to follow, go subscribe and hit that notification bell. He knows his anime.
And of course, I want to congratulate, congratulate Brandon on his new job.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, God bless. Yeah, I know this was a concern of yours. And last we spoke, less than a week ago, you were feeling hopeful. It sounds like you got it. Good.
Yeah, he said it's even better than the last one. So
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, you got to eat some food. Okay, yeah, I should probably have a booze sponge too, but I'm having too much fun right now.
Well, I got a whole thing.
No, I can't. I say that, but I can't. Nate is supporting the channel with a $2 super chat to say hello. I am sipping on a tropical mix Sprite. Is that a flavor of Sprite that I've never heard of before? Do you guys know this tropical mix Sprite?
I haven't heard of it, but the Coke's always doing new stuff, so it might be a new flavor.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Good.
I think I had the Cosmic Coke once. That was odd.
Yeah.
It's like space themed.
And David is sending you a belated happy birthday, Aged Boomer. I think that's very sweet of him.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
Oh yeah, Logical Spark, welcome. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. He says, "Wow, Netter, cool pic you have. You want to tell him the story behind that picture?"
That particular one, it was right after my daughter's wedding. When I got home, I took all the pins and stuff out of my hair because it was. Oh no, actually, no. This was right after our vow renewal.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, because I had it all up and everything. Oh no, wait, hold on. Give me 1 sec.
It was some event.
No, it was after Stephanie's wedding.
That's what I thought it was. Yeah.
I forgot there was a hairstylist to put my hair all up, and so I took all the pins and stuff out. I thought it looked really great. So I took a selfie, and I actually had a different background. And lovely Maria from Telly, who is my sister from another mother, and don't tell me I don't rhyme because I love Mama Telly.
I know.
She took the background out and added this kind of Asian background behind me, and I love it.
Yeah.
So that has become one of my favorite pictures.
Yep. Brandon is looks like he's singing on his side. She's my cherry pie. I dig it, my friend. Which also gets across how far behind I am.
Tropical Mix Spray came out like 3 weeks ago.
Well, that would explain why I haven't heard of it. Hail, Boomer! I look down on alcohol drinkers. Bastard. Yeah, I'm a bastard.
That or he's.
I love you, my friend, but yeah.
I thought he was Gen Z because apparently Gen Z doesn't imbibe either.
This is how I cope. This is how I cope after a long.
The reason why you look down is because you've never tried a Tom Collins. Oh wait.
Oh,
yeah,
I like that. Boomer knows. He's like, oh wait.
I keep forgetting that. Or a Moscow Mule.
I forgot about Tom Collins.
Moscow Mule, that's a good one.
Well, I should say I knew Tom
Mule.
Collins.
In fact, I was actually thinking Moscow Mule might be my drink next week.
That's a good drink. Yeah, get ginger beer though. If you can't,
I always have ginger beer on hand. Always.
If you ever,
what do we call ginger beer in this house, Netter?
Magic soda.
Magic soda.
Okay.
If you ever have an upset tummy, you need to have ginger beer on hand.
Now, Canada Dry Bold is also pretty good. It's not quite ginger beer, but it's a good sub if you can't find ginger beer. Okay.
I dig it. I dig what you're saying. Yeah. Let's see here. And I'm probably going to go past a lot of comments here. So if I miss a comment that you really wanted me to read, make sure you maybe repeat yourself. You know, yeah. Frank, that 4 a.m. I'd be going to sleep. Well, he did. He went to sleep. He took a nap, got up in time for the show. And am I right, Clifton? You're going to go back to bed.
Oh, definitely going back to bed.
I dig it. And again, I'm just going to kind of cycle through. I don't want to miss anybody.
Just so you're aware, sweetie, Timey Wimey Limey says you're completely wrong. I'm in New Zealand.
Oh, that's right. I think you've told me that before. God. Oh, I can't even begin to figure out the time zones there. I'm completely lost on that. So if you're in New Zealand, that means it's Well, you're probably getting sunshine right now, so I dig it. I dig it. RubyHoove, $5. You are so incredibly generous, Ruby. I can't even express my appreciation to you. In Texas with my sister, so I'm drinking ice water. No, I fully understand. You're kind of on duty. I dig it. I totally dig it. Oh, Evelyn Hampton. Haven't seen you in a while. I hope you are feeling well, my dear. I know you've been having some struggles. Good evening, Evelyn. Thank you so much for being here. And again, I really do hope you are feeling well this evening. Let's see here. Age of Boomer, you're in the chat.
What I say?
I've recently purchased Blue Comet Lasner SPT.
Yes. That's for Brandon, the anime guy. He might know what that is.
Oh, it's anime stuff.
An old school anime. It takes place in the future of 1996.
Ooh.
Well, there was a time that was the future, right?
Apparently the Cold War is still happening, but now in outer space. I don't know the plot, but it's another Mobile Suit series by the people that made Gundam, so I had to pick it up.
I do find it humorous to look back at what we thought the future was going to hold.
Yes.
We thought the Soviet Union would still be a thing.
Yep.
And it's like, no. And now everyone is assuming that China will still be a thing 20, 30 years from now. People, if you want to be able to predict the future, learn history. I'm just saying. There's a reason that Mark Malnikoff, regular contributor to Geeky Geezers, always says Troy was right again. I'm no Nostradamus, but I do have a tendency to predict the future fairly accurately, and it's not anything mystical. It's just because I know how history works. Welcome, Dadman Walking 55. Hey, Troy and Netters. Have a great stream. Thank you so much, my friend. Always, always appreciate you. And he also says to our guest, hey, Clifton3D, hope you're having fun tonight. Are you having fun so far tonight, Clifton3D?
Definitely.
Even at 4 a.m, you're still having fun?
Hey, it's 4 a.m. That's when you party, right?
Oh, amen. You know, there's something to celebrate. You're having fun. That's always good.
The weekend. What's not to celebrate?
And Lester San Jose, specifically to you, says, Clifton, good to see ya. And talking about Star Wars, not anime. You know what? There you go. Let's see. Yeah, see, everybody's here to support you, RubyHoove. Not just because you are such a great supporter. We super appreciate you. I don't even know what you're talking about here. Opie and horse girls.
Opie.
I don't even know what that is.
The anime boobs.
Oh, right. Yes.
Awesome. Oh, are we talking like Kandagawa Jet Girls?
Exactly. See?
I only know about that because of Michael French over at Retro Blasting. If he hadn't done an April 1st video about it, I wouldn't even have ever heard of Kandagawa Jet Girls.
They sell certain mouse pads in Japan. Never mind.
Let me guess. They have like silicone bumps. Yeah. Mainly we'll listen while I'm a one-man wrecking crew after my work did a reorg. Oh, God. Letting go of my boss and a couple of coworkers, which just means more work for you. Am I right? I totally get it.
My thing is, be glad you weren't part of the reorg.
Yeah, there's that.
I have been part of reorg.
6 of one, half dozen of the other. Are you better off being let go, or are you better off being spared and having to take on the work of everybody that they let go?
Well, see, here's my thing. I've been reorged my last 5-6 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And the older you get, the harder it is to find a new job because they don't look at your qualifications. They look at your age.
Yeah.
Which they're not supposed to be able to do.
Nope. It's illegal, but they need to do it.
Yeah, it's illegal for them to do it, but they've skirted around just saying, oh, you don't have the qualifications we're looking for. Yeah. We don't feel you'll be a good fit or some other baloney. The position I have now, I had gotten because I lost my job right at the beginning of COVID. In fact, Troy and I worked for the same company in the same department, and they let us go within 5 minutes of each other. He was fortunate to find another job within a couple of months. I didn't find one until the following March. So it was literally a year later, I found a new job where I'm at now. I've been there 4 years. I love the company. I love the people I work with. It's really a great company. And I'm hoping to stay there until I retire.
That's
I
fair.
actually survived the last reorg because they found that I was indispensable.
Well, I think she's doing the work of 12 people over there, so they can't afford to lose her. John Ponteliero. I know I've asked you this before, but I don't remember the answer, John. Is that name Italian? I have to ask. I'll say this to you, Lester. He says, I hope it leads to a better raise. That depends on your negotiation skills. When it comes around time for the so-called review that they always do, you make sure you point out, look, I'm doing the work of all these people you let go. I'm expecting a decent raise here. You know, that's how you start your negotiation.
Yeah, it's like in my the job I'm in now, right when they did our reorg, and they decided to get rid of like all the temps and things like that.
Yep.
One of the things that I do is I create source codes. So, you know, those little codes you put in the cart so you can get free stuff or discounts or whatever.
Real good movie, by the way. Check it out. Source code.
Well, one guy just decided to joke with me at the exact wrong time. My stress level was through the roof. I was backed up like 3 days behind on getting the codes and stuff created for people. I had clients complaining left and right that they weren't getting them. It's like, it's just me. I can only do so much. And then this jackass decides to tell me, oh, you better hold on to your seats. I got 30 more orders coming down the line. And I just typed in the chat, I quit, which got an immediate reaction of everyone doing the shocked Pikachu face. And he goes, oh, I'm just kidding. I'm like,
not funny.
Yeah, that's literally what I said. That's not funny. And after that, he just kind of kept his distance from me because he knows he's on the top of my list.
Yeah,
Right.
Humor is all about timing. Just remember that. Tim Hayes, thank you so much. You're wielding that blue wrench tonight, and I super appreciate you for doing it. Yeah, keep building each other up. That means the world to me. It really, really does.
Yeah, so we totally value all of the blue wrenches that we have. And you have the wrench for that reason. So you can drop the links and all that stuff. Even promote yourself. Drop the links to your own channel.
Well, Geek Flag instead wants to promote you a little bit. He says, Netter, as far as we're all concerned, you are absolutely irreplaceable.
Oh, thank you,
guys.
Stevie.
There would be no Troy without Netter. I'm just saying. I mean, let's just be honest. Matanui, hi to you as well. Welcome. And yes, I did. So, what you saying? Solstices, equinoxes, full moons, and solar eclipses are predictable for millennia. Everything else is up for grabs. That is true. But, you do tend to see trends. Tend to see trends. Just saying, there is a reason that certain kinds of gambling are illegal and others can't be made illegal. That's a talk for another night because I want to get to our main topic. Clifton is sitting here going, for fuck's sake, can we just get to the topic at hand already?
We will in about 3 hours. It's fine. I'm sorry. Wait.
Yeah, he wants to get to bed sometime this morning.
Let's do it.
Let's get to
Fan
it. Give me
films.
Well, give me a second to bring Clifton into this because because he is our guest of honor. Let me bring him in as well.
That's fine.
Now, Clifton, not all of these are yours. Some of these are mine. As I added a couple to these.
Oh yeah.
And they're in no particular order, so we'll just kind of take them as we go.
I did the order you sent them to me in.
Well, and that's fine. I just don't
Okay.
remember what that order is, and I
All
do
right.
think I fed some of mine in there,
All
so
right.
we'll take them as they
I did
come.
watch
if
a
you want
couple
to.
of them myself. I didn't have time to watch them all, but I figured
No. You did more homework for tonight than I do for Geeky. So let's.
Hey,
I'm just being honest with. I'm
sometimes
too
I
drunk
wonder if
not
you
to be
read the
honest.
articles, but of
No,
course I don't always
I
either.
admit most of them. Even I'll tell you what, I don't read the gaming articles because most of the time I don't even understand them.
Okay, wait. You said you're too drunk. I've had this more than
Give me
you
a
have.
break,
Wait.
okay?
Shush. I've had actually more than you have because I finished my second one, which is a complete one of yours, and I'm barely buzzed.
That tells you something about her,
Okay.
doesn't it? Just saying. Just saying.
So
A
Troy,
little bit more experience than I do.
So Troy, you've often said that the fans are making the best stuff, right? Or the fans are making the
Well,
best stuff.
I want to give credit where credit is due. Of course, I got that from Michael French over at Retro Blasting. But yes, that is absolutely true. There are a number of custom action figures that I have here that I've gotten from fan makers. And these fan films are more Star Wars, in my opinion, than what Disney is putting out.
No, that's not hard to do.
Well, yes, you're right. That is not a high bar, am I right? But so yeah, why don't you take us through it, Aged Boomer, and I'll continue to drink.
Okay, then I better refill you.
'Cause
Because that's all whipped cream.
Oof. I better pace myself though.
Pace yourself.
I'm
We
trying.
got films to get through.
We do. Go for it, my
Let's
friend.
speed it up. Oh, you want me to do it? Okay.
Yeah, please.
Okay. All right. So first up is
Okay,
Troopers. Is that what it's called?
No. This one is Bucketheads. Yeah, there's a number
Buckethead.
of these. There's a number of these that are told from the point of view of the stormtroopers.
Because we never really got to see things from the point of view of stormtroopers in the movies.
It also
it's
points
kind of
out,
overlooked.
This is why many of us, when we saw The Force Awakens, were a little bit excited to see a main character,
Finn,
that was a stormtrooper, Finn, who defects, right? We wanted to see things from his point of view, but they kind of just destroyed that character so much for their whole DEI concept.
Oh,
get me started on that.
My whole tweak of that would have been very simple. Would have been, hey, it's this new order sounded like a good deal. I get 3 square meals and a cot, and get a paycheck. And oh wow, they're having me kill civilians. I didn't know this was going to happen. I'm out of here. That's what they should have done. Yes.
If George Lucas had done this, the mindset of that stormtrooper would have been from the point of view of the German army from World War II, right?
Yeah, basically.
Right.
You've got a soldier from World War II defecting who would say something very much like that. Look, I was enlisted. I thought I was doing my bit for Führer and country, only to find out they're sending me against civilians.
Yeah.
And, but what did they do? Instead of him having, certain insights, well, you have to understand stormtroopers are trained this way, and this is what we're told, and blah, 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 which would have been good information for the rebellion. No, he doesn't know crap all because he was a friggin' janitor. They put a gun in his hand and sent him out. And it's like, what the hell kind of a story is this you guys are putting together? Oh, I'm sorry, J.J. Abrams was involved. I shouldn't have even bothered to ask. But I will admit I have not seen Bucketheads. This is Clifton, why don't you take us through this and tell us a little bit about Bucketheads?
I think it's like a couple years old by now.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a lot of fun.
Excuse me.
It's stormtroopers going out on a mission, and they run into some rebels. There's a firefight.
Sure.
And I think it's just beautifully done.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the costumes. It looks like Star Wars. It feels gritty. You really do get into the stormtrooper side of things, and
Yeah, he says the rebellions, they're fanatics. I did watch this one. They're like, oh, they're fanatics that are,
Yep.
you're attacking people over a dead religion and this stuff. They're saying stuff like that, and it was
Exactly.
interesting seeing the point of view of the stormtrooper. From his point of
Well,
view, the
can
rebels
you
were
back
the
up
villains.
can you back up one? I did want to make a comment
The
about this
poster.
from a customer's point of
Oh yeah,
view.
this yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't know anything about the production on this, but my guess would be that these people that are playing the stormtroopers are probably at least associated with the 501st. And if you look at this costume where it's all like, burned up and messed up on the one side, probably took a shot to the head or something like that.
Yep.
If you're a costumer and your costume gets dinged up, you build a story around that. And I'm guessing that's probably what happened here. It probably got scuffed up in transit going to a convention or something. And he said, you know what, I'm just going to lean into it. And he, put all this cosmetic damage on it, and boom, it works in the film. That's a speculation. I'm just guessing. It's an educated guess based on being a costumer. My first thought was 501st as well. And welcome, by the way, Samuel Procter. Thank you so much.
So from what I gathered, like this, it's a short, right? It's a short
Yes.
film. But like
A lot of these are.
yeah, but like
Yeah.
2 weeks ago or something, they put out like an hour long
Wow.
where you get these scenes and more.
Wow.
So they're still working on it, and it just
I'm
great.
curious about the one rebel guy he runs into at the end, because I'm wondering, he lets him go, and I'm wondering, holy cow, is this like a civil war, like Union versus Confederate soldier, and they're both brothers, they're on the opposite sides of the fight, and I'm wondering if that's why he lets him go. I don't know if they explain that. He definitely knew who it was, and I was like, wait a minute, this is
Yeah.
brother versus brother, isn't it? Yeah.
Brother versus brother,
Yeah.
friends, they're
Yeah.
he runs into him and it's like, oh dude, I know this guy.
Or it could be a friend from the academy, because a lot of people in the Rebel Alliance did originally go to the Imperial Academy. It was
Yep.
mentioned on the radio show that a lot of them were going, as soon as they were done with they were going to the Imperial Academy to get the skills, and they were going to head to the rebellion afterwards.
Which, of course,
yeah.
is Biggs's whole storyline and whatnot.
Yeah, and I think
I
Wedge
wanna-
as well. Wasn't he an Imperial pilot?
He was a pilot. He was an
And
Imperial
he went
pilot
over
who
to the
defected,
rebellion.
yeah.
Yep.
I think the although it never came up on screen, I think the expanded universe has a similar story for Wedge Antilles. I do want to read Geek Flag's note in character. He says, Jar Jar Abrams, Misa making movies. Pretty much, my friend.
But here are the stormtroopers. We do have a woman stormtrooper in this movie, but
and there are female stormtroopers in the expanded canon. I literally have an action figure that's a female.
They probably weren't common, but they probably happened, right? That's what I expect happens probably.
I don't know how they treated them in the expanded universe, but I think if George had anything to do with it, they probably would have, again, kind of followed the idea of the what happened to Germany after or leading up to the end of World War II, where they were conscripting anyone and everyone.
That's probably about where in the war this is. Yeah,
exactly.
Actually, yeah. Yep. Okay.
But yeah,
so it's a double thing when you got a fan film. First, you take everyone you can get, all the fans that want to be involved, but the fans are clever enough to think, Star Wars canon and make it work. And I think that's a great, I have to agree with you. How do I shorten your name? I can't. I got to call you Timey Wimey Limey. I can't call you Timey. Can't call you Wimey. And I sure as heck can't call you Limey. That's rude.
TWL?
Okay, TWL. That kind of works. It says poor old EU, decanonized and deleted. And and they have a tendency to pick and choose little Easter eggs from the EU that get the fans all excited, only come to find out that, we got Admiral Thrawn. We're so excited. Except he's a dumbass with a pot belly.
Yep.
You
That
know?
was
Anyway, anything
horrible.
left to say about this? Maybe check out the expanded version. That might be interesting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
you're
did.
absolutely right,
I
Sam.
thought the
No, it's
production
good
quality
stuff.
was high. I'll say that. I mean, it looked decent. I mean, yeah, from what I
Jesse.
saw, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Good. By the way, all of the fan films that we're talking about tonight are linked below, so that you can see them. If you see the creator tagged, it's their site that I'm sending you to.
Yes.
But in a couple of cases, it's not the original creator.
Some of the older
original
ones
creator
probably.
has taken it down and someone has reposted it to keep it alive.
Right.
But chances are they got hit with a cease and desist or something like that. So,
all right.
This one was interesting.
We have not gotten to that one, Jesse. I didn't even know about it, but and we don't have it in our CV for tonight. But I'll look into it. Thank you.
So this one was Star Wars TK 436. Is that right? Yes.
Yep. So another one told from the point of view of, in this case, a specific stormtrooper.
Yep. More closer. It was. I thought it was pretty interesting. For a fan film, I think the graphics great. I think it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
A bit blurry at times, but that's just a creator's choice. But it's very interesting because you have a guy, going to the Imperial Academy, becoming a stormtrooper, and a girl that he likes or loves, and she's like, "Are you sure this is a good thing?" And then later on you find out she joins the rebellion, and he basically, he kills her accidentally. Didn't know that was her, but goes up to her and and takes off his helmet and like, oh my god, and like. But in the end, he's basically saying like, actually, your death, isn't in vain, because I'm no longer the guy.
Yeah.
I'm now PK 436 or whatever. Like, kind of dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great story though, because there's so many stories like that from every Civil War, every war divides people, and you always have brother against brother turning on each other. There's so many stories like that from history. That's what makes Star Wars so good, is how much it draws on history. Curtis, we have not gotten to Troops yet, but it is in our lineup. We will get to that. Yes. Linked below. That's one of those ones where the original creator is nowhere online any longer, but someone else has reposted it. Yeah,
right.
I'll definitely have to check this one out. This looks pretty good.
Should I keep going?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Darth Maul. I had seen clips about this, but I hadn't yet seen it myself. This looks pretty good. Is that Obi-Wan in that poster?
No.
Okay.
A random Jedi Master.
And is that what's her name? Shell. What's her name? Shakti.
No.
Is this? Do you get to see like her die a third time or something like that?
Same race, but no.
Okay.
The only two characters that you will know from the original movies is Darth Maul and the Emperor.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say, if that's Shakti and she gets killed a third time in a different way, it's like, come on, guys. Now you're just effing around already.
She's the Professor X of the Star Wars universe.
I guess. Or if you're more of a DC guy, Green Arrow.
Mm.
Green Arrow's died and come back a bunch of times.
But she goes down pretty quickly.
Did I read right? They're bringing Professor X back.
She goes, no, I'm sorry, I won't go there.
Did I read
She's
right?
got
They
those
bring.
handles on her head, right?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I think. And now we, of course, how's the actor playing Darth Maul?
He looks good.
Oh yeah.
Makeup's good. Yeah.
Hmm?
People like this design. I almost think George Lucas sold it a little short in Phantom Menace by killing him off at the end. Of course, then we
I
learn
want to,
later he
real
wasn't
quick, I
killed
want
off.
to comment on Timey Wimey Limey's comment here. He says, in the original Alan Dean Foster novelization of Star Wars, Luke had a dog. So yes, the book canon has been different from the movie canon from day one. See, I had actually forgotten that detail, and I'm going to tell you, I am the type that likes to go out of my way with my Star Wars dioramas to acknowledge that kind of stuff. And as we know from the prequels, the Sand People have dog-like companions.
Mm.
So I'm going to take one of those and put it into my Luke Skywalker Lars Homestead diorama.
Oh, nice.
That's yeah, exactly.
Cool.
and Geek Flag, war, hoorah! What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again, y'all.
Now, is this like before Phantom Menace? Is that when this is taking place? Is this him taking out different Jedi?
So it's
Like in
basically
secret?
still part of his training.
Okay.
So yes, before the Phantom Menace, the Emperor basically sends these Jedi to him. And, in the original movies, the Jedi don't know anything about the Sith. So how is it going to end?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Them getting taken out, and I assume it becomes a mystery as to what
I
happens.
think I have seen this now that I think about it. Okay, now that I hear you describing the story, yeah.
It's like, what, 9 years old or something now?
Yeah, I think I have seen this.
I think it's pretty good. The fighting is better and faster than anything Disney's put out. Which,
yeah,
I guess that's not a high bar, but very interesting. I like the lightsabers. It looks cool.
Okay, cool.
And I want to bring this up in light of what we're talking about here. Samuel says the movies are the sola scriptura standard for both Star Wars continuities for most people. That is, and I've said this many, many times. People want to talk about, well, then there's what happened on Disney Plus, and then there's what happened in this comic book, and so on and so forth. You can call that canon all you want and think that it means something because you own the IP. But the reality is, it will never be canon for people that didn't read that comic and don't subscribe to your paywalled subscription service.
Yep.
If it's not in the movie, it does not become part of the zeitgeist of fans, and it can't be canon. I'm sorry. That's not how it works. You can believe yourself to be the arbiter of what canon is, and you can claim it to be, but ultimately, it's what people remember that remains canon. There's a lot of things that never happened in the movies that the fans believe to be canon, and it is more canon than what Disney has done because it has been part of their head canon for so long.
Yep.
Star Trek kind of understood that when they started canonizing some of the fan theories, and let's face it, that they're still not a great example. I'm just saying one good thing they've done. And on the fan film side, a good fan film will play with canon without ever overstepping it, knowing I am never going to be canon because I'm a fan film. So I'm not going to do anything that breaks canon, which honestly, I wish the writers for Star Wars would actually, employ that idea.
That's why we do enjoy these fan films, because they don't break canon. And Disney has broken canon so many freaking times. with their Star Wars, it's not fun to watch.
Yep. So I'll tell you, here's another character that you could very easily recast because you can hide him under so much makeup. You can't tell that's not Ray Park, but he better have the ability to do the acrobatics that Ray Park did, because he was amazing.
Definitely.
Okay. Now this one I threw in there because I felt it fit really well right after talking about Darth Maul. Duality is one of my favorite Star Wars fan films that technically doesn't use any of the characters from Star Wars. There is a character that is clearly meant to be the Emperor, but he's got a different name in the credits. He's not referred to as the Emperor Palpatine or anything like that.
Okay.
And he's got 2 apprentices. One he refers to as Darth Blight. As a matter of fact, that is Darth Blight right there. And I forget the name of the other one. But it's interesting, and actually, Boomer, I think you might have actually gotten a wrong picture here. I don't.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine. It's
some of
just
these are hard to get pictures of, because this might be
I
one
know.
of the ones where the original creator doesn't have the thing up. Yeah.
That's exactly right. You're exactly right. It is hard to find. That's why I've done a great job of, when they go up, grabbing the highest quality capture I can of it and making my own DVDs of them, because own physical media, even if you have to create yourself. Both of the Sith apprentices in this are wearing, so here you see makeup and dark glasses, and he's got a partial mask. The other one has a really cool looking black mask, little Darth Vader-esque. I don't know if this was an off the rack, like a paintball type of mask or something, but it looked really good. So yeah, you don't see the faces of the 2 characters. I'm gonna spoil this short for you. The whole story is the apprentices come to this. He doesn't realize it. The ship that you saw in the opening, that TIE, whatever that was, he lands. His master is there in hologram. Yeah, that's the ship. He lands. Let me tell you, the graphics, they do a lot of CG work in this, are better than Hollywood is putting out today. And this is an old one. All the backgrounds, the planet and everything is all green screen, but it looks perfect. He goes into this arena and he doesn't realize he's going there to face off against another apprentice. He doesn't know there's another apprentice. And this Emperor-like character says, I want you to meet my other apprentice, Darth Blight. Kill him. And they begin fighting. And if I remember correctly, they both start out with double-bladed lightsabers like Darth Maul. One of them is yellow, and I think the other one was red. I don't remember exactly. There's this great bit where one of their blades gets cut in 2, and so he's double wielding, and then one of them loses his lightsaber, so he takes one from the other one, and then they're fighting singly and whatnot. And the scene that you showed with Darth Blight, if you want to step forward one to it, this is the spoiler scene. Darth Blight gets killed, right? He through the chest from behind, and he falls down dead. And the original apprentice is standing there. And then he drops his lightsaber and he falls in 2. They're both dead. And then the Emperor like
goes, darn it, now I gotta start all over again.
Exactly right. He comes out and he looks down at them and sneers. And one of those droids, and he just goes, and he starts doing the force lightning, and he's, hitting both of them because he's so angry. And then he turns on the droid and he blasts the droid, and the droid goes flying up into the air.
The droid should have said, what did I do?
All of a sudden, he's just standing there. You get this silence for a moment. You hear the wind blowing. and he's looking down all angry. The droid falls behind him, and he goes, and he hits him again, and he's pissed, and it just ends silently.
During all this, is the blue guy with the horn standing behind him and like kind of sneaking out back? Like,
that would have been funny, but no, it was only those three characters.
Okay, it's
droid,
like, okay,
so,
this is a bad time. Okay.
So everybody but the Sidious stand-in dies. It's actually a really, really good, very, very short. But I think the best part about it was the fighting choreography was spot on. The special effects were spot on. This was one of those ones that I felt was so good it could have been a Lucasfilm creation. It's better than what Disney is putting out.
I will say sometimes George Lucas would look at these things and then end up hiring the people for Lucasfilm. Like I remember the people that did George Lucas in Love. Remember that fan film? It was like Shakespeare in Love, but George Lucas in Love. And then they ended up getting hired at Lucasfilm after they made that, I think. Yeah. But
oh gosh.
He was never against
I don't know what that is, but I want to see it. But this one has really divided the fan base. It is, what I have seen of it, it is the best looking fan film I think I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Definitely one of the best thought out.
Right.
But the individual that created this is a little polarizing to fans. Definitely not very beloved by Lucasfilm.
No, he got into trouble, and this was post Disney takeover, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Prior to this, I don't think George cared. Like he says, okay, you want to make a fan?
No, George used to host
Yes.
Annual fan film awards. Yep. He was very positive to the fan community as long as they followed certain guidelines. Yeah. He was very much supportive.
So from what
Disney, I remember, not so much.
Yeah. So from what I remember, like I'm not the biggest Star Wars Theory fan, but I do have to say, you know, he did an awesome job on this. But he
speaking of Darth, welcome Darth Plato. Good to see you here today.
He actually did contact Disney and Lucasfilm. Said, hey, I want to make a fan film. I'm going to be paying it out of my own pocket. Mm-hmm. I want to do this the right way. You know, I'm not going to be making any money off of it.
Right.
Like that. And even though that, you know, I guess he had a deal made out with them and, you know, writing on paper, after it came out, they still went and claimed it and got it taken down. And then I guess he had some kind of a legal battle or something. And now he does have it up. But I don't think he's really done anything more to it.
Yeah, he I get what he was doing, but personally, and I said this at the time, if it was me, I would have just made it. Better to what is it? Ask for forgiveness than ask for permission.
Yeah.
Because here's what happens: you make a fan film. You release it out there on some BitTorrent somewhere, and it's out there. And they can't do a damn thing about it.
Exactly.
They can't even really trace it to you unless you're going to go out of your way and take credit for it. And that's probably not a great idea to do. Just do the thing, put it out there, and go, oops.
Yep. Yeah, I thought the story was well written. I liked the idea. But now this came out before Disney just let every Jedi survive Order 66. So,
yeah.
Oh,
hell, if you've got a womb, you could be stabbed through the gut and survive.
Yeah, right? So, but, yeah, no, I really like this idea, and it looks awesome. He put a lot of money into it as well. For, I think, what was it, like 12, 13 minutes or something?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. But yeah, I do remember hearing about this, how it got into controversy, because, well, the reins tightened, didn't they?
Yep.
Oh, hell! Not only are sabers not lethal since the animated series, now you can spin them and fly with them like a helicopter.
No sense. That was Rebels, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Oh, there were things I liked in Rebels and things I did not like.
Same.
Oh,
Same.
all right. Moving on to
Troops. This was what a number of you in the chat were talking about. Troops, for most fans, this is the first one that they were exposed to. This was another one where there isn't a lot of special effects, but where there are, like the dewback, it looks really good. And they did some of the same tricks that George did, where it's in the background, it's a little blurry, it's got that Star Wars feel.
Nice.
And it's a story of stormtroopers on Tatooine on patrol, and it is a direct parody of that show
Cops.
But instead of bad boys, it's bad droids, what you gonna do? Because they're looking for the droids, that land at the beginning of Star Wars. Takes them to
Tatooine,
the
yes.
Lars homestead, and they do the whole. They're called in on a domestic argument between
Yes.
Owen and Beru, and they're having some argument about their nephew. He says he's supposed to be doing some work out on the moisture evaporators, and she says he wants to go to the academy, and blah blah blah. And it doesn't matter. We're gonna have to find this kid. What's his name? Fluke, something like that. Okay, whatever. Now, Beru, you need to calm down. You need to calm down. Okay, we're trying to take care of this. We're trying to work with you here, Beru. You need to calm down, or I'm gonna have to, shoot you. Which, of course, is a Fargo reference. But speaking of, he gets into this conversation with the Jawa, and let me tell you, the droid or the Jawa voice that they do, it's just perfect. It's so good. And he goes, "Okay, I'm going to need you to put that down now. And don't run. And the Jawa's running away, and he's at a distance. He shoots him, hits him in the back of the head, and his head goes flying. It's just hysterically. Well, I tried to tell him. I warned him.
Wait, a stormtrooper actually hit a target?
Yes. We've talked about that before. And there's actually a couple of really good videos. There was one. This guy put more. I'll have to find it and I'll share it. Maybe I'll share it in the comments below later. He did a great video talking about. He goes into real world statistics for real soldiers in combat and how often they miss and why they miss. And he looks at the stats from the blockade runner and this scene and that scene and so forth. And he's like, look, first off, you're using confirmation bias because you're only looking at the stormtroopers. How often do the rebel troops hit?
Yep.
They're not hitting their marks very well either. And when they break down, for example, the corridor battle in Star Wars, they're like, the stormtroopers are pretty much plowing them down, and they start out at a disadvantage. It was like the Battle of Thermopylae, but they're on the losing side, and then it very much turns around and becomes a rout.
I always saw it as, not coming from the statistic point of view, but they, like in Star Wars, they wanted them to leave to, show them where
Well, there's that element. The big one is Empire Strikes Back, when none of them hit Luke. And there's a bunch of shots that miss him. But remember, there was specific orders given in dialogue. Vader wanted him alive. Their goal was not to shoot him. It was to lead him to the chamber to face Vader. Yep. So you also have to remember there are times where they are ordered not to kill, right? So anyway, that's I hope I didn't step on your bit, but it was worth talking about since especially we've been talking about so many stormtroopers. There's actually a fan film that we didn't do that talks about a stormtrooper receiving his, and I don't remember what the name of their blaster is that they get, the one that's based on the British Sten gun. And he's talking about how crap it is. And he goes, look, these helmets make it hard enough to see, but this gun does not fire straight.
Yeah.
You know, because he points out how with a different sidearm, boom, 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 he's hitting the target, bang, bang, bang. He takes this thing and he goes, well, and someone else tells him, look, it was a government contract. This is what happens. They do this kind of crap to us all the time. And you think back to your World War II lore, and you're like, yep. These kinds of things happened, right?
Where the soldiers would throw away their own guns the first moment they got a German gun in the hand. Yep.
Yeah, there are guns that on the Russian front that literally blew up in their hands.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just saying. Well, the first batch of Sherman tanks had some serious problems, but they were overblown, no pun intended, and subsequent replacements were correcting those. I think the Shermans got a bad rap like throughout the war, and that wasn't the way it was. Anyway, sorry, getting off on World War II. Let's get back to the troops. But this is a very funny one. And it does end with them with a thermal detonator and it going off. And it's like it wasn't the stormtroopers that killed Owen and Beru. It was a tragic result of their domestic squabble. And they're like, oh, this is just tragic. You hate to see stuff like this. Well, I don't know what else we're going to do. Let's go find that nephew of theirs. What's his name? Fluke? Let's go see if we can find him.
Of course.
Yeah.
Funny stuff.
Yeah. I like that. I really did like this one. This one is brilliant. Anyway, yeah, we can move on. This was my insert. I wanted to get this one in there.
Oh, wait.
Oh, this was another one that I added. This one. Have you heard of this one, Clifton?
I've heard of it, but I haven't actually.
This was a hard one finding pictures for. I'll say that. Yeah,
it is. This is another one where it's no longer out there. I got the original first generation DVD ISO of it to write. Ooh. So I have it on DVD, but there's only low resolution YouTube shares of it, one of which I have linked below.
Star Wars Revelations. Is that what it's called?
Yes. This was a film that came out obviously before we got any of the Disney Star Wars, and it takes place in between Revenge of the Sith and Star Wars. So this is also before we had Rogue One. This fits that. It's not told from the point of view of any of that, and it doesn't deal with the Death Star or any of that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But you could almost imagine the story takes place simultaneously with Rogue One, retroactively. But you have a different group of heroes. You have an ex-Jedi, an ex-pirate, all that kind of stuff. Another Imperial evil character. Some of the location shots they got, they must have just taken advantage of a filming location they had that looked phenomenal. The special effects again were just flipping brilliant.
Is that Mace Windu?
No, it's not.
Okay, different Jedi.
It's another character altogether, but the effects for the hologram communication were great. There's a great scene that takes place in a rock quarry where they've got an AT-ST walker. This was one of the scenes that I was talking about where that's not a green screen. That was filmed on location in some, I don't know if it was a ballroom or a museum or something. It just looked amazing. They had a lot of extras, like it was some sort of imperial gala or something like that. It was just brilliant. Clearly an element of using the circumstances they had and building the story around it. It was just spot on. That stormtrooper and all the stormtroopers in this were acknowledged as members of the 501st. There's a scene, like I said, in a rock quarry where there is an ATST walking that looked spot on, perfectly in scale. It looked like it was really there. And a speeder bike moves through the shot. It's just absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Samuel Procter said, geez, Boomer, you just see a black Jedi and assume it's Mace Windu?
Well,
Are
he's
you saying
also
they all look
bald.
alike? Well, maybe just
This is like
emulated.
this is like that episode of Seinfeld where he is his black coworker and he goes, George says, anyone ever tell you look a little bit like Sugar Ray Leonard? And then his black coworker says, I guess we all look alike to you, don't we, Costanza? And then suddenly it's this big thing and he's having to prove that he's not a racist the whole episode.
Yeah. No, you just look like Sugar Ray Leonard. I mean, I didn't say you look like Michael Jackson.
Okay.
You look like a specific person.
It's
See,
one of these.
This is what drove me crazy about that show, because Netter and I would watch this show and we'd say, these people are just morons. This is how you respond to something like that. But it's not funny if they respond,
Well, it's funny. At the very end of the episode, I think George, and then finally, I think another black character says, "Hey, that guy? He looks a lot like Sugar Ray Leonard." He says, "See," and he's like, he's
Troy, there were some places here in my hometown that look like Naboo. Oh, that sounds like Naboo. Those locations shots were beautiful. So you must have
she evil, by the way.
Oh yeah, she's evil. She chews the sea. Now that's the other thing about
Can't
this.
you tell by that face she's evil?
Well, or she could just be angry, but she's wearing red, so she's evil.
Oh, okay.
Let me put it to you this way: these are fan films, so you don't always expect the actors to be professional actors. Sometimes they are. Some of the Star Trek ones we talked about were professional actors.
Star Trek continues.
Exactly, and a number of others. Star Trek Renegades, for example, actually got Nichelle Nichols and Walter Koenig and a lot of Tim Russ reprising their roles, right? So professional actors. But these are just fans. So, yes, the acting isn't great. But, man, they give it their all. And if you look past the less than professional acting, the stories are really good. And this one was a very, very good story. I encourage you to check it out if you get a chance. It's the kind of thing where you're like, before there was Rogue One, you're like, I can see this being in my head canon between Revenge of the Sith and Star Wars. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I guess we're done with Star Wars.
We are done with Star Wars. This is the bonus one. That's okay. That's okay. This was the bonus one that you gave us. That's actually a DC one. This is Dying is Easy. It's a Batman story by Bat in the Sun Productions, which I talked about in my Liquid Lunch. Go to your first picture on this one, Boomer. Yes, that bloke there as the Joker.
Yeah,
he is the guy behind these films. I don't know the kid's name, but he's the guy behind Bat in the Sun Productions. He's a perfect Joker.
He has the right
I think
look.
he absolutely does.
Yeah.
He also, I think, played Robin in one of them, and the channel. I tagged the channel as well as this particular video down below. And Clifton, I'm going to need you to tell us about this movie, but I'm just talking about the channel in general. He did a series of videos that I'm assuming are still on his channel, where he got a bunch of cosplayers, some of whom I know personally, to kind of reprise their characters, and they did like this villain this hero versus that hero, who would win and those kinds of things, and he would film the combat, and you were supposed to vote in the comments who you think would win. And what he actually did was he filmed two different endings, how one would win and how the other one would win. Some really, really good stories worth checking out. I thought this was a great interpretation of Mr. Freeze it doesn't have to be giant Arnold Schwarzenegger, but clearly homaging that storyline. I even like the ice on the walls there.
Yeah.
Is that Bullock there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Michael
Great
Madsen as Harvey
actors in
Bullock.
it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pardon me?
Some great actors in it. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's Harvey Bullock, and that's Michael Madsen as Harvey Bullock. Oh, darn it! I forgot to put Catwoman on here. Maybe I couldn't find a good enough picture of her. Who was the actress at the end playing Catwoman? And what else has she been in? That was my main question because I liked her look. I'll say that. Yeah.
What you should do is you should go check out, because I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't another video on Bat in the Sun that focused on that particular Catwoman. They do that from time to time. Real quick, I noticed that. Yes, I did talk about this one during my Liquid Lunch. It wasn't called Batman versus Predator. It was called Batman Dead End. And I did not specifically mention the Predator because I didn't want to ruin it for you. I said, check out Batman Dead End. It's a very short video with a trick ending, and it's worth checking out. But that's not what this video is, although it's also done by Bat in the Sun Productions with this same kid playing Joker. So it's very similar.
Nice. Yeah, no.
I remember seeing one fan film that was a Batman versus Darth Vader. Did you ever see that one?
Yes, I believe that was also this same Bat in the Sun. And the way it works is Darth Vader has captured Superman. He's got him in a detention cell with kryptonite, and Batman shows up to rescue him. And there are two different endings. Who wins, Batman or Darth Vader? And they have an ending where it can go either way. And they are both good stories, good, plausible ways the other one can win. But Clifton, tell us about this movie, this fan film.
It's 25 minutes long. I think possibly the closest to actually being Batman that we've seen in years. Like, he's actually a detective.
Yeah.
Goes around and just the characters, the acting, the sound. I was just blown away when I saw it. And it was a few years ago, I think, when emo Batman was in the movies.
Sparkly bats. That's what these
are. Sparkly bat.
There you go. Darth Plato says there was a video of Spider-Man beating Darth Maul. Yes, I believe that was also Bat in the Sun Productions.
Oh.
I may be mistaken about that, but I'm pretty sure. He had a whole series of them.
Okay. But yeah, this one, it's 25 minutes long. If you like Batman, this one is a must watch. It's awesome.
I was saying in my Liquid Lunch, there tends to be a lot of Batman fan films only because, let's face it, you don't have to do flying effects. You don't have to do laser beam eyes. You don't have to do a lot of major special effects usually.
Could have them hiding in the shadows half the time.
Hiding in the shadows. You could do some green. I'll bet that. Well, that could be a practical effect. That could actually be,
Yeah, we had a Batmobile in this movie though at the beginning. Remember that? That was impressive.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. If you have access to someone who's got a Batmobile, or you just green screen it. Real quick, I want to say hey to Booger414. Best Batman-esque fan film is Grayson. I did talk about that in my Liquid Lunch. It is not. It is a fan film. People refer to it as a fan film, but it is told as though it is a trailer for a movie that would be coming. That, of course, never does. Actually, the behind the scenes of it are as good or better than the film itself. Definitely worth checking out. Check out my fan film related Liquid Lunch for links to some of those other ones that I talked about. But fans are doing the best work. We're getting sick and tired of people, just destroying and not not giving us Batman films in name only, Superman films in name only.
There's some dark references in this one, though. Jason Todd and Barbara Gordon, Joker's bringing those up. So he wants Batman to strangle him to death, right?
Yeah,
Just for the
that's
twist here.
always the Joker trying to goad him. We see that pretty well in Dark Knight
Returns.
Returns,
Yes.
where the Heath Ledger Joker.
Oh, Dark Knight. Yeah, Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
I'm thinking of the. Never mind. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Batman: The Dark Knight, as opposed to The Dark Knight Rises, which was the next movie.
Yes.
I don't know. Don't even. But Heath Ledger's Joker does something very similar to what you see Jack Nicholson's Joker doing. Where Batman's coming at him, he goes, come on, kill me, I want you to. Is trying to goad him. And we see it in the comics over and over too. And specifically, I think the Heath Ledger interpretation did a great job of conveying he doesn't care if he survives or not. He kind of doesn't care if Batman survives or not. He's not even really trying to kill Batman. He's all about making a point, right? And if Batman kills him, right, if he turns Harvey Dent into a villain, all of these other things, right, he makes his point. And that's why I thought it was so much better that unfortunately Heath Ledger in real life dies, but the Joker survives at the end.
Yes.
Batman basically saying, no, I am not going to give you the win by killing you. And speaking of the Joker, his voice is here saying,
Excellent.
well,
hey,
I did a number on Jason and Batsy. Well, just read The Killing Joke. And that was such a good comic that fan films and even some licensed films have tried to touch on it. Even the CW, well, it was before the CW, right? It was WB's series of Birds of Prey. Not that horrible film that they did. The kind of well-intentioned but still kind of horrible short series with Diana. What was her name? Diana. Oh, she was in Starship Troopers. Diana something.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The redheaded actress.
Not Diana Rigg.
No.
This is driving me nuts.
Somebody's gonna say it, but she did she did Batgirl. She reprised the role she did that whole Killing Joke scene where she opens the door, gets shot by the Joker. The Joker is blurred so you can't see him, but they used Mark Hamill for the voice. It was actually pretty good.
Doesn't Lori Loughlin show up as Black Canary at some point?
Yes, as the mother of the
young girl, I guess, will be the new Black Canary.
Kind of referencing the whole Golden Age, Silver Age kind of thing, which I thought was kind of brilliant. They also had as Harley, Dr. Harleen Quinzel, was played by Mia Sara.
Yes.
Those of you that remember Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That was her.
Do you know who they originally...
Dina Meyer, thank you, Mr. J. Yes.
Do you know who they were originally going to cast as Harley on the show?
No. Who?
Cheryl Lee. There's actual footage.
Oh, that would have been good. There's footage of that out there?
Or at least still shots. I've seen them. Now, to be fair, I think who they got was good too. But, I
think Cheryl Lee would have been even better, to be honest with you. I could have seen that,
But, I don't know. My main problem with Birds of Prey was they went with the whole. I swear they were doing the Smallville meteor freak thing again. It's like, oh, metahumans, and all these metahumans would show up trying to challenge Batman. No, that's not Batman.
Now, to be fair to both Smallville and Birds of Prey, at the time, well, that is true, but that's not where I was going with it. They also were trying to be faithful to the source material at the time, where they couldn't do They were trying to explain how people could end up with superpowers like mutants without calling them mutants because Marvel, right?
Yes.
So they had this concept in the comics of a metahuman gene, and this explained why people that maybe were
But
born without superpowers, something happens to them.
that's not
and it sets
Batman.
them off.
Except for maybe Clayface. Maybe that's
I
a
was going to
metahuman
say,
gene.
though, there are some characters that, yes, you have the insanity thing, but you also have some that have power. How is it that yes, for example, Clayface has his mutagenic powers? Where does that come from? How does Mr. Freeze have his ability to survive in
cold
freezing
climates, and it
temperatures, and so
also
on and so forth.
increased strength. Yes,
And
I know.
it was a thing that they worked into the comics. It's a metagene. And they argued that there was a sci-fi reason.
Overthinking.
The Flash, for example, the Flash gets hit by lightning
Overthinking.
chemicals. He ends up with the Speed Force and so on and so
That's
forth.
what I like about. I always thought DC didn't mess around overthinking, and then now they start overthinking. I always thought that was Marvel's problem. I'm just
I get
don't.
that. I want to say hi to Gary Carpenter. Thank you so much for being there. He says, hi, everyone. Good to see you. I adored Birds of Prey. It's too bad it went off early. I also think that there were some elements of it that they could have done better. I think that would have captured the audience.
I thought the actress playing the Huntress was good.
This is funny. Well, Mr. Freeze was raised by Arctic wolves, so there you go.
Of course, yeah, that'll be the explanation on Birds of Prey.
Poison Ivy, Woodrow, Dr. Woodrow, whatever the hell his name was.
Woodrow what? Woodrow Wilson?
No.
Not Man.
The Floronic Man. The Floronic Man.
The Floronic Man. Okay. They were allowed to use him on Birds of Prey, I'm sure. Okay.
He was in Batman Forever.
That's
played by the same actor that played Lex Luthor's father in Smallville.
Glover was his last name. John Bane, Glover was it? And he was also the voice of the Riddler on Batman the Animated Series, which I thought was interesting.
There you go.
And he also played Gold Dukat. Did he play Gold Dukat? Or am I thinking of a different actor? I'm thinking of a different actor.
He played
actor. Okay.
He did play a Cardassian. I can't remember.
It wasn't Gold Dukat.
He also played a Romulan as well.
He was on Star Trek, but I don't think he played Gold Dukat. You're right.
The gal who played Helena, that would have been Helena Bertinelli, I believe, on Birds of Prey, appeared in the first episode of, I believe, Arrow or Flash, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yeah, they got everybody that they could possibly get.
No.
Honestly, I do wish that if they're going to keep doing all of this, moving the timeline along, the Super Sons and all that kind of stuff, I wish they'd go back to making the Huntress Helena Wayne, which, of course, Birds of Prey. Oh, that's what you're talking about. Yes, you're absolutely right. They killed her off just like they killed off everyone else in the multiverse because screw the CW.
I think they destroyed the Smallville verse as well, which I thought was wonderful.
It's implied that they did, yes.
And after Clark abandoned being Superman to work the back 40 as Pa Kent would have wanted, that's the perfect ending.
That was a great storyline because it does imply the Superman 2 story of him giving up his ability.
It implies that, I mean, it's a Smallville ending. I'll agree with that. And then the Earth blows up anyway. Yeah, that's a Smallville ending because it's like it always seems like they're giving you what you want and then they take it away last minute, and that's always what it is on Smallville. But
Mr. J and I have had plenty of conversations about the Jason Woodrow. That was it, Gary. Okay. Thank you so much. He was the Floronic Man.
Okay.
Yes.
But all I want to bring up, though, is I remember the pilot for Birds of Prey, and there's this villain in the episode, and he's using like a fear toxin on people, and people are getting scared, and I'm thinking, oh, it's gonna be the Scarecrow, and then it turns out, no, it's just some guy. And I'm
Yeah,
like, could
because
it at
they
least
probably didn't have the rights to use
could he at
it,
least
or they
have like
weren't
discovered
allowed.
the Scarecrow toxin? And that's why no, they just know it's not the Scarecrow because they don't have the rights to use the Scarecrow. It's a series set in Gotham in the Batman universe. We just can't use any of the villains. This is just except for a brief mention of the Joker at the beginning. We can use Harley Quinn. Doesn't make any sense.
I do like, I did like, even though I know I did read all of those Sandman comics and the Lucifer comics and so forth, and I do realize that Lucifer TV series took major liberties with the DC Comics character, but I still liked the show, and I did like his appearance in that brief scene in the Crisis on Infinite Earths thing.
Mhm.
Um,
See, I didn't realize that it was DC until I think
Yep.
Constantine shows up.
Yep.
Mhm.
And when he shows up and it was just Lucifer that shows up in the DC crossover episode. It's just a brief thing. I guess whoever is looking for the MacGuffin or whatever shows up at Lux, and it's Earth 666. I
Yeah.
thought that was kind of brilliant. I'm sorry you didn't like the Helena Wayne thing. That goes back to the Golden Age. That was the original Golden Age Batman and Catwoman who got married. And if they're gonna do it, I say keep that canon alive. I could see her in a new, I don't know, Justice League with a, Dick Grayson as Nightwing, and taking the place of Batman, and I could see the whole thing happening. I could see Jonathan Kent taking over as the new Superman, all of that kind of stuff, right? But
now
look,
I'm thinking back to that Brave and the Bold cartoon, and I think they had Huntress on there, and I think Blue Beetle had a crush on her, but she had a crush on Batman, and I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, please let it not be that this is
yeah, no, it's not his
like
daughter.
Bruce
That's
Wayne's daughter from another dimension. Please don't, please no, please
no.
no.
Helena Bertinelli is a
That's who it was.
completely
Okay,
different
okay,
person.
okay. That's what they
She's
did on Brave and the
her
Bold. All right,
history is very
okay,
very Troy friendly because she's an Italian American.
right, yes,
She knows people with broken noses,
I
and her
understand. Okay,
father
that's who she
and
was
all of
on
that
the
backstory.
cartoon.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yes, as a matter of fact, it's so these comments are going too quick for me to keep up with. Darth Plato, I agree with you. Dean Kane's Superman. I mean, that show did the best job of doing a show that the normies enjoyed, but still being very faithful to the comic book canon. I felt that Smallville did an okay job with it, but they leaned too much to the normie. And I think that Birds of Prey also made the same attempt, but leaned too much into the comic book
The
canon.
lore, right?
They were so slovenly following the comic book canon that they lost the normie audience, and that's where it went wrong.
They
And
did
yes,
they did or had Oracle on, or Barbara
yes,
Gordon
which
was
is
Oracle.
fine. You could do that, but I think there were there. It became like Marvel, where you had to do your homework in order to understand what was going on, and you can't get that far down that rabbit hole. Yes, Joe's Atmosphere Karate Kid is a DC character. In fact, although the Karate Kid with Mr. Miyagi and all that has nothing to do with DC, it does have to say, it does have to acknowledge the DC Comics because it is a trademark. The Karate Kid name is a trademark of DC Comics. The character is completely different. It's a character from the 30th century in the Legion of the Superheroes.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with Daniel, and Mr. Miyagi and
LaRusso.
all that kind of stuff. Or LaRusso, right. But it is a trademark, so they had to acknowledge it. You're absolutely right. It was pre-crisis, but there's a lot of stuff that was pre-crisis that they bring back again. They do it all the time. Yes, rest in peace, Val Kilmer. He could have been, if he had a better story to work with. I saw him as a great follow-up to Michael Keaton. I would have been fine with it, but the story that they gave him was just not
Yeah.
good. Dean Cain was a great Superman. He did a great job as Superman, but he, behind the scenes and with the fans, embodied Superman the way the way Christopher Reeve did. And that's as important as what you show on screen. And I think we're seeing that with a lot of the people that are very much letting us down by shooting off their mouth in social media these days.
Yes.
Troy, can we go back to the fan-made stuff? Because it's better than the WB crap. Well, we've kind of finished
done,
at least
basically.
our slideshow.
Are there any
with what
ones we haven't mentioned, though, that anyone wants to bring up?
There's a lot, and we couldn't even get into all of them today. If you do, you've almost got to narrow your search. Do like Star Wars fan films and just find a list and just in Google, you can go videos and just start looking at them and just go watch them. I've never heard about it. Let me go watch it and see what it's all about. And when you find one like Bat in the Sun, go to the channel and just see what they got there. And you're going to find like 25 DC fan films. Check them out. It's totally, totally worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, maybe you got into Helena Bertinelli later. I was already a Helena Wayne fan from the Silver Age, so it's very difficult for me to say that one is better than the other. Both have their merits. I would totally be fine with there being a canon where Helena Bertinelli is her own character, and when she retires, Batman and Selena's daughter takes up the mantle. I could kind of get behind that.
Now, I'm going to speak for Troy right now. If anybody can tell us which fan film this is from, Troy will personally mail you his Jabba sailing barge. We talked about it before the stream.
I don't think so. Not only did that thing cost a whole lot of money, and not only would it cost a whole lot to ship, that one's got very special personal value to me because that was an anniversary gift. So
I understand. I'm just messing.
It is literally priceless.
I'm actually very impressed also with your story about that Millennium Falcon you got from Toys R Us. That was another good one.
I am tired like the dead, but I can always put on my festival clothes. I've been there. I know what it's like to get the Klingon garb on, and but there's also TOS Sundays for a reason. Let me just put it that way.
And to quote Johnny from WKRP in Cincinnati, booger.
Booger. Yes, exactly. Good point.
Now, Max,
Sorry, there's a fan series, Star Wars Clone Wars, called The Forgotten Ones. Okay, I didn't know about that one. So there's another one for you guys to check out. Favorite Star Wars fan film is Rogue One. Shame it's not canon because of the retcon. Screw the retcon. Canon is what the fans decide it is. That's just how
head
it is.
canon.
Yep. Was the Batman Catwoman ripped off from Huntress as Mob Kid? I'm not sure I understand the question, but I'll explain the Huntress fully, and I'm sure it'll answer your question. There was pre-crisis. There was the whole multiverse where there was an Earth 1 and an Earth 2. Earth 1 was what was the superheroes in the mainline stories. Earth 2 was the older characters from the so-called Golden Age. So the Superman that you see that is smashing the car, the green car on the cover of Action Comics #1, the Batman with the black with no yellow, and the Robin with the I think it was the black instead of the yellow R, and all that kind of stuff. All that older stuff, that was all Earth 2. And on Earth 2, they were all older because that was all, they fought in World War II, and, they were the All-Star Squadron and all that kind of stuff. Dr. Fate, the Spectre, and so forth. Dr. Midnight, he had a gas mask and a gas gun and stuff like that. All the old stories. Well, Batman retired. He married Catwoman. They had a daughter named Helena Wayne. She ended up becoming the Huntress. Robin grew up, and he remained Robin. He didn't become Nightwing, and he continued. He would go out and patrol with his younger sister, I suppose, from a certain point of view. Well, yeah, because Bruce adopted Dick Grayson. He has a daughter.
That's his ward.
Yeah, well, he eventually adopts him.
It's his ward.
Yeah, well, he eventually adopts him. Okay.
That happened in the comics, I guess. I don't know.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly. Right. And so this was now, of course, these characters are all supposedly wiped out of existence during the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Power Girl was the Supergirl of Earth 2. She was the cousin of Superman. Superman, who married Lois Lane in that universe.
Okay.
So it was a progressive storyline. It was a little bit different in the. Gotta have a great weekend, Mr. J. He's got to take off. Toodles.
Take care.
And I'm way behind. His youthful ward, Dick Grayson. Yes, exactly.
So,
yeah.
Not on the DC topic, but I do have a question.
Yes.
I just saw a post this morning.
Or
well, not this morning because it's Saturday, 6:00. Yesterday morning. From Tim Pool. Making a AI video where he said he put in 1 minute to make a little script and shit.
Okay.
And that Google, the way they're moving forward with their newest model, can possibly churn out entire scripts within hours, and in a couple of years or something, everyone might have the possibility to make their own fan films. What do you think?
You did not watch the video. You're not.
I have not yet.
It is insane.
He says, I made this.
They did.
And he sends me this little video. I think it was just a GIF of this really hot looking redhead doing a hula hoop. And I'm like, you made a girl?
No, here's what happened. Wow, I was trying out different ones. I did beautiful. I wrote beautiful redheaded woman hula hoop. I did beautiful Latina dancing salsa at a busy club. I tried that because I was doing a trial of it, not of the one he's talking about. That one's even more advanced. The prior version Google put out because you can do a trial of that. And then I did a Russian ballerina, and then I was thinking, well, dude, you could do anything. And then I typed in pink dragon toasting marshmallows. Now, it messed up. He's just a purple dragon, I guess, sitting in front of a plate of marshmallows. And he's like a cartoon character. But I'm like, I can do anything with this.
Well, that's the other thing I've found. You've seen for example, the artwork that I do as thumbnails for Liquid Lunch. Those are all AI generated in Midjourney.
Yes.
And
this is actual footage, and now they can have the actors, the AI characters speaking with accents.
Yes, absolutely. So what you're seeing is a convergence of things. So you can create with Suno, you can create music, and lyrics and songs and voices. You can have artificial voices that read your intros for you, and so on and so forth. But they're putting them together now is what they're doing.
But even if the
And
fans still want to have the regular local actors in these things, they could still use this AI
yes,
stuff for creatures, for spaceships. They could throw that in.
there's one, I don't remember if we have it in the hopper for Geeky Geezers, but SAG-AFTRA is all up in arms about them using AI to generate Darth Vader's voice. Now, I haven't looked into that, but I said at the time this was going to be an issue for them because
Wait a minute. No. James Earl Jones signed off on that. I'm sorry.
yes, that's what I was getting
This
to.
is already
He
tied up. The
specifically
family's going to collect
sold
money from it. Yes.
he sold the rights to his voice to Disney. His estate gets paid when they do that.
Yeah, this is not no. This was approved by him, both him when he was alive and the estate post. That they can't say anything
Yep,
about this. I'm sorry. I'm
absolutely
not a
true.
Disney fan, but I don't think they're in the wrong
Real
here.
quick, I
think
want to
they,
say hi
yeah.
to Keely Chow. Good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you. We're talking fan films, but we've kind of moved from the fan films to the properties that the fan
Well,
films are supplanting to
we're
now
kind of back though, because as he brought up
kind of back
this
to
new Google
using
AI.
AI. Yeah. So I had mentioned, not during the fan film segment, but in another stream that we did talking about Doctor Who, because we did a series going back and looking at all the real Doctor Who before, it
Because
became
when
this
does Troy ever stay on topic?
Well, yes, exactly. But it all kind of works together. It's all kind of, the wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, right? There is a fan out there who spent thousands of dollars. I think he wasted his money, to be honest with you. I have talked many times about the lost episodes of Doctor Who and the reconstructions that have been done by Loose Cannon Productions using telesnaps that still exist, still photographs with the audio. All the audio of every Doctor Who episode that was lost exists because fans audio recorded it off of television, and they've BBC
with this new Google thing, they might be able to
yes.
rebuild it with AI.
Well, I'm getting to that. They've already
okay.
done to a degree.
Yes.
What
You say a fan did that. You're right.
Yes, a fan took what Loose Cannon did, and when you only have a still photograph, and actually Loose Cannon did this a little bit. If you've got a still photograph, you can give it some movement, right? If you've got a picture of Daleks walking down a hallway, well, you can do a Photoshop that takes the Daleks out and make them a separate element where you can, move them, make them bigger going down the hall.
Yep.
And that's like a motion comic. That's what motion comics are. Well, he's gone one further, and he takes a still photograph of the Doctor speaking, and he has, he animates it using AI so that he's speaking. The problem with that is, although it is a step up from the telesnap, you can still tell it's AI. He's not looking where he should be looking. There is no AI awareness of that kind of stuff.
Yep.
When you are a director or an editor of a film, you have actors that are, facing to the left, they're facing to the right.
Yes.
They never focus on the camera unless they're breaking the fourth wall, right? And they give thought to which direction they should be looking because there is an understanding of where the person is that they're talking to. And so if he's looking this way at this person, the person he's talking to will then be seen looking this way. Well,
this is what they fixed.
The AI doesn't know that. And so he's looking back and forth, and it's really weird looking, but I understand go ahead with what you were saying about this new AI.
What I'm trying to say is this. Now I'm not going to say it's 100% yet, but it's getting close. It's close enough that people that make commercials, especially low budget commercials, they'll just go with this because the people look real enough. And it's not quite. I mean, you can if you focus, you can see it's not quite but it's close. It's
This
closer than
is
I've ever seen this, and who knows where it's going to be in a year or two. It might be it might be
it could
indistinguishable
be a
from an actual
great
human being.
tool. It could also be crap.
Well,
It's
it's a
all in
terrifying tool as far as
it's
I'm
in the
concerned, but it's
implementation, right? So anyone who reads an article on any major website today, you can read it and you will read a sentence and you will go, who the hell edited this? Did anyone edit this? Right? That is the problem. And honestly, there are people starting to say, are these articles being generated by AI? Look, I am not going to take a stance on the use of AI, but if you're going to do it, you still need a human being to double check it and edit it. Check it and make sure that first you fact check it, because AI makes up bull crap, right? Don't use AI for your legal research. Don't use it for your medical research. You got to do that yourself. You got to double check everything. Okay.
but
What were you going to say,
this
Clifton?
I was
Were you
just
say-
agreeing with you. But although
Yeah.
sometimes I think like some of the people who write articles, they should have used AI.
Yes.
because they're that
Yeah,
bad.
no, sometimes the AI is actually better because the human diversity inserts don't have the abilities that a writer needs. You're almost better off with AI going
Exactly.
back and copying off of older stuff. But we are starting to see look, there's if you know how old cell animation was done, right? You would have an artist come in and he would do keyframes.
Yep.
He would do this picture. Then he'd do a picture that's later in the sequence, and then a later one. And then other artists would come in and with tracing and whatnot, they'd fill in the gaps in between. They were not they were following his art style. His art style would follow through, but he would do the main. You have writers that do the same thing. When J. Michael Straczynski wrote Babylon 5, he would write, at a minimum, he would write the first and last episodes of a season, and other people would fill them in. But he did more than that. He would fill in key stories, and then there'd be filler stories that people would do in between.
Oh yeah.
This is the way it's always been. And there's no reason that you can't have animation, writing, films that are done by humans doing key scenes, key elements, key whatever, and having the AI fill in between.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The people they use that the AI is conjuring up here, they look like actual people. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like, you could theoretically create like an artificial actor and then probably use that actor over and over again. Like I said, I think commercial work is done for actors after this new thing. I think it's done because they're supposed to look like
it is
regular
going
man
to
on the street
require
anyway.
it is going to require them to they're going to have to be so good they can't be replaced by AI.
Yeah,
They've
so
got
like
to be-
Flo from the Geico ads, they'll probably keep her around.
Yeah, someone who's iconic like that. I don't think you're ever
pay for
going
the rights
to be
to
able...
use her for the next 100 years. I don't know.
Look,
that's the
you
thing.
can-
They could just make an artificial Flo and
You
put her.
cannot replace you cannot replace Tom Cruise. You cannot replace... Who's that pretty blonde girl who's now starting to produce all of her films?
Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney. You can't replace her. You can't, because they're the money people.
Yeah.
They are going to decide if
Fine.
they want to act in it, they will be in it.
Those are people who actually draw crowds, but how many other actors do that?
That's also
nowadays
true.
anymore?
However, yes, and that's what I was leading up to. I was going to say the other side of that coin is Pedro Pascal. He can be easily replaced by AI.
Yep.
That's the thing.
Easily.
He's
already losing audiences because people are sick of him. He's become a joke. When they're joking about him playing the next Disney princess because he's in everything. You know, that's how bad it's starting to get. But we were already... Go ahead.
Well, they were doing a joke with like a Santa comedian guy. You know what he said? I used to have we used to have 7 fingers on our hands. Now I only have 5. It's weird. Like it was a joke
Yeah,
that if the AI
yeah,
finally figured the
exactly.
fingers out.
Well,
Okay,
and that's the other thing I was getting
you
to.
know,
Just like the writers need to be edited before they're published, this artwork that you're doing with AI,
but you
you need
can.
somebody to look at every single sector of it and go, that's person's got 6 hands. This is the wrong insignia on the thing. And then you have another artist go in and fix all that in Photoshop. It
Yep.
is a tool. It is not an end all be all on its own. You
Now,
have to pay attention to this
Yeah,
stuff.
but they're
now,
gonna go ahead. Sorry.
well, I mean,
Talk
just
to me.
now, that's like if you're actually a studio, I would think, you'd have to go in and fix this.
Right.
Now, looking at fan films, like, hey,
Yeah.
maybe you have a favorite book that has never gotten a movie or a show or something, and you like type in the script
Yeah.
and you
You're
get
right.
that out. I mean,
So
so
this is
fan film level, I think it
yeah. This is what I was getting at when I was see, I've been thinking about this a lot in terms of fan films. I've been telling Boomer for a while now.
Oh.
I've been reading this book, Batman Resurrection.
Mhm.
It's a novel that takes place between Batman and Batman Returns. So it is the Michael Keaton Batman.
Yep.
It is the what's his name? Is it Al Go? Alfred, and so it's the same. They even have Knox in there. He has a role in it. So and you're picturing these same actors, right? Because it's the same characters from the
Yeah.
same movie timeline. Let me tell you, it's a well-written story. Very grounded, like some of these Batman fan films we were talking about, where it's very detective based.
Yeah.
It deals with the fallout of the whole Smilex attack. It deals with the insert of another villain from Batman canon, and how his origin is tied to the Smilex attack. It's really, really good. And I'm sitting here going, they could make this a movie. Hell, they could do this as an AI CG,
Mm-hmm.
cartoonish type thing. They can bring in Michael Keaton to do the voice. They could get, most of these people can either reprise their roles because they're doing the voice or get sound-alikes to do it. It could be brilliant, but they'd never do that. Same thing we've all been saying with Heir to the Empire.
Yep.
They could do Heir to the Empire, but they won't. They absolutely won't.
But now someone can.
Yes. Now a fan can.
Now, to be
And
fair,
they can't profit from it, but as a labor of love, like I said, you create it and then just put it out there.
Now, I don't
and
know if there
say-
are blocks on this. I know someone was fooling around. They had like Kermit the Frog in front of a nuclear explosion going off in the background, but it didn't look quite like Kermit Frog. Like it
So
was changed
there
enough.
are
There could be copywriting on using this thing.
well,
yes.
no, they can build copyright into things. There are ways around it, but there's also ways for you to some of these are open source, so you can pull them down and you can rework them yourself to not have those kinds of elements. I know that Culture Casino knows more about this stuff than I do. So like the grok and the stuff like that, he knows how to pull those things down and do them himself without having the shortcomings. Another buddy of mine who's a big computer guy says, yeah, Midjourney's good, but if you pull down the programming itself, you can throw in your own stuff. And I am not that savvy, but it is getting easier and easier. And what's the line from Star Wars? The more you tighten your grip, Tarkin, the more star systems will slip through your fingers. The more you try to control a technology,
Yep.
the more people are just going to find ways around you and run with it.
But I could really see at some point that we reached, like, you just get on your computer or whatever, your screen, and like you type in, I want a medieval movie about Robin Hood
Yeah.
with
Yep.
actor A, actor
Yep.
B,
You could say like
write me the
a
story.
actor resembling this actor too, if you
Yeah,
can't use the actual actor. Yeah.
yeah,
What
and it
makes
just
it really great is, and I don't know if humans are capable of overcoming their wanting to, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine.
mm,
But let's say Clifton3D does a Star Wars fan film, okay, using all the AI and all the stuff, and he puts it out there. And I go, that's really good, except this one element here. And then I take it and I just change this one section. You could have people doing this over and over and over again. So you have one film that's just really, really awesome. It could also be shit. It could be, what is it? A camel is a horse by committee. So it could be too many cooks spoiling the broth. But you could also have a group of people working together and improving and improving and improving.
was it last year or something where this, I think, Instagram or TikTok trend was going around, one person playing an instrument, the next person taking that, adding
Yeah.
their own instrument to it.
Well, this
That's pretty
Star
awesome.
Wars Revelations that we just looked at,
Mhm.
it was fans literally all over the world working together over the internet.
Yeah.
The 3D models were done by a guy in somewhere in Europe. I think it was in Germany. Was the guy that did all of the music for it. The actors were, I want to say, in Canada. I can't remember exactly, but they were all over the world working together, and they'd be sending files, and they'd be using file sharing to upload and download to each other and stuff like that. It's just absolutely. And thank you again, Tim Hayes, Blue Wrenching, to make sure everybody please subscribe to Clifton3D. Um,
Thank you.
Thanking him so much for coming and making this topic happen tonight. He literally was there at Liquid Lunch, and he said this was such a good topic. If you do this again, I want in on it. And so that's literally how this last call tonight worked. But I used to do like photo manipulations. There was a site, I don't remember what it was, where you could submit your photo edited art. And when I first started out, it was terrible. It was like bad CG, right?
Mhm.
I did one of a recolor of a guy in motocross outfit, and I recolored him to turn him into Blue Beetle, and I had like this 3D rendered of his ship, but it was terrible. It was really terrible. But as I got better and better, it got to the point where I had people saying, did you photo manipulate this at all? What's changed on this? I had one that was Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor in the White House as the president. And I had people saying, is this a photo edit or is this just a picture of Gene Hackman? And I had to go in and explain, this is Gene Hackman. I took the hair off of him. I put him into the Oval Office from the show West Wing.
Mhm.
And I think I changed the color of his suit. And everyone was like, man, that's really good. We couldn't even tell. I did one of Lucy Lawless, a scene of her, like a promo shot of her from Xena Warrior Princess.
Uh-huh.
I took the chakram off of her belt and replaced it with a glowing lasso. And I recolored the whole thing and turned her into Wonder Woman. People were
Nice.
like, that's perfect
And that was
casting.
the one you did of our buddy who looks just like Clark Kent in Metropolis.
There's a guy and his wife who we knew from Metropolis who played Lois and Clark. She did a spot on Margot Kidder as Lois, and he did a really damn good Christopher Reeve.
Mm.
But the costumes they wore were more comic accurate for the day.
Okay.
They just looked great. So after we'd seen them for many years, I'm like, guys, can I get a picture of you? We every Thursday of the weekend that the fest was going on, we met at a Hardee's. Like all the fans of this one particular website would meet.
And the Hardys loved us because we would eat.
Oh yeah,
so
we'd
much
be
food.
buying food there. They were like, yeah, have your meeting here, whatever. They had giveaways and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, when everyone was clearing out, I'm like, are you on your way to something right now? No, we got time. Can you just sit and like sit here in front
here's
of
the papers. Hold these papers.
Hold these papers like you're reading the news.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we get what you're going. And I did it, and I'm like, I'm going to take this and photo edit this and put you at the WGBS.
No, what you said initially is, thank you for this. I'm working on
something. I didn't tell him what it was. Went back to our motel room, pulled up Photoshop, and put them, at the anchor desk of WGBS. I put WGBS on the
Nice.
thing in front of them. In the background, all the monitors, I put up scenes that would be appropriate for the DC guy. Like there was one, coming up next, Secret Hearts. If you're a Supergirl fan, you know that's a deep cut,
And then we took it to a print shop on a thumb drive and said, "Can you print us up like 20 copies of
on photo paper and stuff?"
Yeah.
And I gave them to him. I said, "Here you go. Here's the, I'll send you the file if you want me to email it to you. You can print out more if you want. What you do is you take these and autograph them when people ask for your autograph." And they were like, "Man, this is really good."
Because we figured they would sell the autographs and,
if you want to make money, money, whatever you do with them. And they were like, "Yeah, that's really good." Photoshop. And everyone was freaking out about, Photoshop. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. This technology exists and you need an artistic ability. I started out with none. I got better and better as I went. I may not be able to draw from scratch, but it's kind of like tracing, recoloring, taking something, putting it on a different background. Well, guys, that's what computer art is. That's what CG is in a lot of ways. Green screen and all that kind of stuff.
That's what all the big studios do. Why shouldn't a private person be able to do that as well?
Well,
yeah, exactly. And now this AI is, look, let's face it. We call it AI. It's not AI. It is nothing more than the obvious extension of Photoshop and CG.
I don't know. Just what I was seeing today. I
copying what's come before, and isn't that really what all writers and directors are doing? It's hard for you to say they're not.
Well, I don't know. I'd like to say they're learning from what came before. I made the joke that I created this, like I created the girl, but it really wasn't me. It was the AI creating the woman.
Right.
Or whatever.
What you got to do now is you got to take that picture of the girl doing the hula hoop and go to one of those AI girlfriend pages and get a subscription so you can have an AI girlfriend.
I hesitate to think what people are going to be using this for. Those were just
experiments. They already are.
Well, because I had a joke thought in my head. I'm like, well, if you're a man on YouTube, you have to be funny. If you're a woman on YouTube, you have to be pretty. Not always. But that's like an old fashioned rule. So I'm like, you could create a YouTuber out of this. Do you understand? I'm not just the implications. You could have
they
some
already have.
I know that they have the AI voiceover, and I can tell that's not a person. But
no,
this is like the fusion of video. You could have someone talking about Star Wars fan films for 2 hours. Okay.
There are artificial girls on Twitch. There are artificial
Cindy Crawford's
girls
niece
on
crossover loving Star Wars fan films. You could do a video about that. Okay, I'm just saying. And would people be able to tell the difference? We're getting to the point where they won't be able to. It's just freaking me out. All right.
It really is. It really is amazing. You do have to up your game. But
it's terrifying me. I'll be honest with you.
Fans are doing so. Here's what it comes down to with these fan films. Fan films are examples of fans doing the best work, and the tools are getting easier and cheaper to get a hold of. And it should be forcing the studios to get better. When the stories that are written by the fans are better than what the studios are putting out, and that's kind of what we're talking about tonight, the studios need to step up or they will go away. we'll do it ourselves.
As you're talking, I have this thing playing on my TV in the background. It's all these videos, and you have some old, like, I don't want to say older Gen Xer guy sitting in front of a TV playing a game console I've never seen before. In the background is a video game I've ever seen anymore. It looks like from the Atari era. And the point is, someone just made stuff up, and
Yep.
it's no, YouTube's just going to get flooded with stuff. We're not going to know what's real anymore. The implications of this are,
yes.
I can't fathom it. Do you understand?
There
That's all I'm
is
saying.
there was a video I was huh?
YouTube is
that?
already full of AI.
Yes.
I like my history and shit, and I
Right.
like watching documentaries. Go on YouTube, try to find a documentary that isn't AI anymore. It's just people typing in a script and letting an AI voice do it.
There's whole pages that are just somebody's sci-fi short story with AI generated art and an AI voice. And I think what bothers me the most, it doesn't bother me that they're doing that. What bothers me is it's such shit. You know, I have access to programs that can do AI voices that sound so natural you can't tell they are AI. But this stuff sounds terrible. Netter listens to some stories that are voiced by AI, and it sounds terrible. It sounds as bad as a robot from the 50s, you know? And it's like, come on, there's better programs out there. Do better, for crying out loud.
Right,
it's not that difficult.
Exactly.
I mean, it's you know, I do understand the shortcomings of some of the AI artwork, where if you do 3 different pictures, the style doesn't stay the same because it doesn't remember what the last picture looked like, and it's a different girl with a different hair color and a different suit. It still kind of looks like Princess Leia, but now she's older, she's younger, different hairstyle from scene to scene. And until you have the ability to have it generate but maintain things and be able to tell it, she can only have 10 fingers total, and she's got to have, you know...
Well, if she's an alien.
Well, but you have to be able to specify that. You can't have it change from scene to scene.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing.
See, that's where the models come in, where you have to train it yourself and add your own pictures and artwork and whatever else.
Exactly.
There's
a YouTuber that I know, and I'm not going to say who it was because this person does not want anyone to know that he uses these tools, but has cloned his voice in an AI so that after hours and hours of editing, if there's a little mistake, he can very quickly type up what it was meant to be, use his own voice, splice it in, rather than have to go into the studio and re-record a whole segment of, you know, audio. I totally get that. That totally makes sense. And no one's ever been able to tell that he's done that. Oh, I just gave away the person's gender. So I just cut down by half who it could have been.
Just say it's been known to happen. People replace their...
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. But now you could do the same thing with celebrities, and you can make fan films that way. And you're not supposed to, but if they don't know it's you, and you're not making money out of it, and it's out there on the internet,
just saying it's
there's
terrifying.
Nothing they can do about it.
Like one day I could be just an AI voice, and the computer will just doing the gasp when Troy says something inappropriate, and you'll hear the sigh, and but it won't be me. It'll be some computer, and I can't.
That's exactly
what out. Okay, it's freaking me out. I don't like this.
Or you can.
It's like the floodgates. Pandora's box has been opened, though. That's the problem.
I could create an AI Troy with an AI voice, and I can have it doing my show 24/7. And just rig in the AdSense. I could go from making $200 a month to $250 a month if I did that.
Dude, I'm looking at some guy. He looks like a fan. He's wearing like a clone trooper hat on now. I'm telling, it's nuts. It
is. Look, the fans have always been doing this. I don't care if AI was involved or not. They were making the costumes that looked every bit as good as what Hollywood is doing. You know, they were writing stories as good or better than what the studios are doing. Is there bad fan fiction out there? Yes, there is. but there's also good stuff out there too. And we've got to acknowledge it, and Hollywood is going to have no choice but to acknowledge it. I think that's the point that we were making tonight, is that the era of self-made entertainment is upon us. And you don't lose the element of being able to share it, because you can share it with the world, right? And what's gonna the cream always rises to the top. You're gonna have a bunch of crap out there, but every now and again you're gonna have the kind of stuff we've listed here, where we're like, I enjoyed this, so I think you're going to as well. And if it's really good, all the fans will be saying, hey, have you seen that one fan film? Oh, you got to check it out. Here's a link, or here's a download, or, I'll send you a DVD of it, or whatever. I'll beam it into your brain through that chip that you had installed.
Yep, the Neuralink.
Whatever it is.
Oh
yeah,
my
exactly.
goodness, there's an anime character in one of these. Okay, no, this is not. I can't deal with this, man. We have an article for. We're over time. I'm sorry. Yes,
we're wrapping up here, Gary.
Yes.
So and I am already drinking my non-alcoholic Bring Me Back so I can get a decent night's sleep. So it is last call for alcohol, my friends.
I'm gonna say this AI topic with what was just unveiled today. We might have to revisit this on another Friday at some point. You go check this out and you see it for yourself, because you've still not seen it yet, Troy. We're just telling you about it.
I'll check it out.
It's all over YouTube now. Yeah.
I had assumed Troy is AI. It would explain a lot, wouldn't it? It really would explain a lot.
If anything, I'd say that the people in these videos move a little too gracefully. That's part of that. That's the one giveaway, because people do not move gracefully like this in real life. They're usually just herky-jerky. Yeah, they used to. Probably, yeah. If we go back to like the Elizabethan age, they were probably more graceful.
Not even. You go back to the 30s and 40s.
Well, there you go.
Most of them were trained for the stage.
They feel too refined in these.
They all had a dancing training, right? They had that grace. They don't have that much anymore.
Yeah, so that's the giveaway, actually, in some of these videos. Okay, I'll stop talking. I know we got to wrap up. Okay,
all right. Clifton, what have you got coming up in the next, say, week or so?
Well, here in about 10 hours, I'm going to be on Anime 101 with Brandon, the anime guy. I'm co-host. Always fun to be there. Then nothing later tonight. Then again on Monday, my Monday mashup that I like doing with my co-host Anna's Gameland.
Okay.
So that's going to be cool. We always talk about entertainment and stuff like that. And other than that, I'm just working the week. But thanks for having me on. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this.
Absolutely. Real quick, I want to share, because Clifton shared the post he was referring to from Tim Pool, and it is wow. It is very. Let me get back to the comments so I can drop this. Here's a link to that video. It's it's an X. What do you call it? Twitter tweet or whatever. Go check that out. It's pretty incredible what they're doing these days. So there you go. This week, in less than about 20 hours, Netter and I will be over with we'll be on Netter's channel with with Big Al for a viewing of Frankenstein Unbound. If you haven't seen it, you might want to check it out with us. But if you're a certain age and had cable TV at a certain time, you probably saw it a number of times. It's a good film. We'll check it out. And Sunday afternoon is this Sunday is the real Star Wars Day. Mm-hmm. It is the anniversary of the release of Star Wars. So Netter, Boomer, and myself will be over on Pops' channel on Sunday afternoon talking about our history with Star Wars and kind of celebrating a franchise that we very much miss. But we have fan films to hold us through. Later that evening, about 8 Central, 9 Eastern, on this guy's channel, Geeky Geezers.
Yeah.
What kinds of things are we talking about on Geeky Geezers?
Well, we're going to be talking about how Toei might be using some artificial intelligence to clean up, maybe help edit with their anime and clean it up a little bit. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's and well, we got other stories to talk about. Sorry.
We'll see. We'll talk about it.
Like the guy that made Borderlands, the Borderlands series.
Let me guess. He's a great guy who loves the fans and wants to encourage them to get the.
He says $80 games, man. You should be happy to pay that. If you don't pay that, you're not a real fan, sort of thing. Yeah.
Of
course, the former Sony head was saying something similar. It's like everyone's on board with this. This is nuts. You're gonna. Never mind. What do I know? Well, we'll be making.
Reality has a way to smack people in the face. Let me tell you. So Sunday night, leading into Monday morning, deleted scenes late show, reserve seats. That's midnight Eastern time, about 11 o'clock Central time. I will be on with deleted scenes as his guest, talking about my channel and kind of my history with it, where it's going, and a special announcement about my channel. So I hope you guys can tune in for that. Monday night is members night at the movie here on Last Call. So members will be watching. I actually never got a poll up, so maybe I'll quickly get one up for this weekend for you guys to decide what we're going to watch on Monday. But every Monday, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, is kind of a Monday night at the movies specifically for members of the channel. You can become a member for as little as $2 a month, and you can join us for these weekly streams just for you guys. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it off. You guys know the regular schedule, but I just wanted to get us through. Just wanted to get you guys through what we're doing this weekend. That's pretty much it. Anyone else got some last words? Netter, anything you wanted to say before we round it out?
I love you.
I love you too, my dear. And we love all of you guys too. Boomer, Clifton, last words?
It's the end of the world as we know it, and I'm
it's the end of the world as we know it.
No. Okay, go ahead, Clifton. You can have the last word.
Oh, no, just, it was awesome to be on. Great talks. Loved it. I'm going to be checking out some of the fan films that I hadn't heard of before.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And
there you go.
And chat. Awesome.
Yeah.
Great show.
And if you guys do check out any of the videos that we have listed in the description below, and you have any thoughts about them, come back here and leave a comment and let us know what you thought of them. If you enjoyed them, if you say, Troy, you're nuts, that sucked. You know, those people can't act. Who are these people making this crap? Or whatever. Would really appreciate that. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. This has been Last Call, and we hope to see you on the next one, which in this case will be over on Netter's channel for Frankenstein Unbound. You guys take care. Salute.
Good night, ladies.
Good night, sir.
Hit it, sweetheart.
The neon lights are fading, closing time is near. Whispers in the corners, secrets shared sincere. The bartender's polishing the final glass. Time slips away like moving through the grass. Last call for alcohol, make your dreams come true. One more round, friends, from me and you. Let's toast to the night, to the stories we've spun. Here's to the laughter and to what's begun. The shadows are dancing as we linger still. Every clink of a glass, a memory to distill. Beneath this smoky haze, our feelings they unfurl. A tapestry of whispers in this corner of the world. The jukebox serenades us with a final tune, crooning to the lonely and the lovers under the moon. With every soft note, the end draws ever near. But in this fleeting moment, there's nothing to fear. Last call for alcohol, make your dreams come true.